When the mother of a brave army officer was sitting by the roadside selling vegetables, an inspector came and slapped her hard, scattering all her vegetables on the street. The vegetables rolled across the road, some of them crushed under passing vehicles. At that moment, a man recorded the incident on his phone and uploaded it to social media. Within minutes, the video went viral across the city and eventually reached the phone of the army officer herself. Seeing the disgrace inflicted upon her mother, her blood boiled with rage. What the officer did next shook not just the police station but the entire city. It was morning. A cool breeze flowed through the city's narrow lanes. The sky was partly cloudy. Elderly Halima Bibi stepped out of her home as usual, carrying a basket of fresh vegetables on her head. Though her face bore the marks of fatigue, her eyes carried a glimmer of hope, the hope that today's earnings would cover the family's expenses. Meanwhile, her daughter Isho, serving at the border, was busy training soldiers in her military uniform, believing her mother was safe and at peace. Little did either of them know that this very morning would bring an incident that would not only shatter a mother's dignity, but also pierce a daughter's soul. As Halima reached near the city market, she placed her basket on a clean spot by the roadside and began selling her vegetables. With a gentle smile on her face, she silently prayed that her produce would sell quickly. Suddenly, a loud, angry voice thundered. "What is this? Selling vegetables in the middle of the road? Have you lost your mind?" It was Inspector Anand, Burma's face red with anger, eyes full of arrogance, and a stick in his hand. Without a word of warning, he slapped Halima Bibi across the face. The blow was so hard that she staggered and her basket fell to the ground. Tomatoes, potatoes, green chilies all spilled and scattered. Some were crushed beneath the wheels of vehicles, the rest were ruined. Halima stood shocked, her face pale, tears rolling down her cheeks. Her grief beyond words, the inspector kept shouting, "This road doesn't belong to your father. Don't you fear the law?" The entire market witnessed the scene, yet no one dared to oppose him. People stood silently as Halima's honor was trampled in public. Only one man in the crowd, quietly, recorded everything on his phone with trembling hands. Halima began picking up the ruined vegetables, her heart pounding in fear. "If my daughter Aisha learns about this, a storm will break loose." With a broken spirit, she returned home, pretending nothing had happened. But the man uploaded the video online with the caption, "An innocent vegetable seller mother slapped by an inspector without reason. Is this justice in our country?" The video spread like wildfire, millions of views, thousands of shares, and endless outrage across the city. Soon, it reached Aisha's phone. As she watched, she fell silent. Tears streamed down her face, not tears of sorrow, but of fury. The blood in her veins burned. The woman who raised me, treated like this. Now she would show the inspector what true power looked like. "This time, I will answer for my mother's insult," she vowed. She requested leave from her seniors and went straight home. Removing her uniform, she dressed in a simple red salwar kameez and boarded a bus. On the bus, a woman sitting in front of her was watching the same viral video. The woman looked at Aisha and asked gently, "Daughter, is the woman in the video your mother?" Aisha bowed her head, tears in her eyes, but fire on her face. "Yes, she is my mother, and this inspector will not get away with just an apology. He will learn his lesson." By evening, Aisha arrived home. The door knocked. From inside came her mother's weary voice. "Who is it?" "It's me, Mama Aisha. Open the door. I'm here." Halima, startled by her daughter's voice, rushed to the door and opened it. The moment she saw her, she broke down. Without words, she embraced her tightly. Both women wept, their tears merging as if the embrace itself was the answer to all suffering inside. Aisha held her mother's hands and said firmly, "I saw it, Mama, what the whole city saw. Why did you remain silent? Why didn't you tell me?" With trembling lips, Halima whispered, "Child, I didn't want you to know. I didn't want to trouble your heart. You're far away, and I'm always worried about you. These things happen, Beta. That policeman lost his temper. Forget it." But Aisha was no longer calm. Her eyes were ablaze. "This is not a small matter, Mama. This is humiliation. This is inhumanity. I will not stay quiet." Soon, neighbors arrived, speaking of the video they had seen. Some expressed anger, others fake sympathy, and some even seemed satisfied with the drama. Halima begged them not to provoke Aisha. "Please, don't push my daughter into this. I don't want any scandal." But Aisha stood firm. Her silence was gone. She was now a lioness whose mother had been insulted in the open street. The next morning, Aisha announced, "Mama, I cannot stay silent. Today, I will go to the police station and file a complaint." Despite Halima's pleas to think carefully, Aisha walked out determined. Word spread quickly through the lanes. People whispered, children replayed the video on phones, men mocked from some pitied, some excused the inspector, some mocked even further. On her way to the city, Aisha spotted Inspector Anand himself, sipping tea by the roadside with his same arrogant smirk. Her eyes filled with tears, but her heart burned. She longed to confront him right there, but she was a soldier. She would honor the law at the station. She demanded to file a complaint against the inspector. Though at first hesitant, the officers recognized her and listened. The show, Amir arrived, reviewed her ID, and spoke with respect. "Madam, if you wish, we can immediately take action against Inspector Anand Verma. Tell me, what do you want?" With resolve in her eyes, Aisha said, "I want justice not just on paper. Just as my mother was humiliated in public, I want him to apologize in public. His uniform must be stripped so no one dares misuse their power again." Her complaint was filed. Evidence was gathered, including the unedited video provided by Umar, the young man who filmed it. Within days, the case exploded. The police commissioner called an emergency meeting. Media houses broke the news. Inspector Anand Verma suspended for abusing power and assaulting a woman. Departmental inquiry ordered. Halima wept quietly as neighbors showed her the headlines. Aisha placed a hand on her shoulder and said softly, "This is just the beginning, Mama. The journey is not over." After a full investigation, Anand Verma was dismissed from service and charged under multiple IPC sections for assault, insult, and violation of women's dignity. At a press conference, the commissioner declared, "No one in the police force is above the law. Officers like Aisha are the pride of our nation." Aisha spoke to, "My mother's tears have now become the voice of countless women. Justice has been done, not just in words, but in reality." 1 month later, Halima no longer sat by the roadside. She now owned a small shop named The Market of Honor, a tribute to a mother and daughter's struggle. Umar, once just a simple boy with a phone, was now a local news reporter. And Aisha, she still served proudly in the army. Now known not only as a protector of the nation, but also as a living example of justice.